Hi, I'm Ruan, I'm an alcoholic. Yeah, all that's going through my mind now, I was like, yes, these guys read quickly, eh? I tell you, this shit, I don't know what it is about it, but it doesn't get easier. I get reminded second year now, I get reminded how fearful I am. But yeah, okay, so start in the beginning, I hear it shared quite often, people share in the meetings, they felt different when growing up, that kind of stuff, and I don't know, I can't recall any memories of that type of stuff, feeling different. I was brought up in quite a loving home. Loving home, Afrikaans family, Christian-based, very strict, but nothing out of the ordinary. Okay, my dad was an alcoholic. He passed away when I was very young because of this disease, But other than that, I don't see anything wrong with the circumstances, how I grew up. But what now my time in recovery has shown me, I look back and I see behavior in myself that I don't know. I don't think normal kids act like that, stealing money from my gran, hiding it, and fucking getting caught out and making a joke about it, blaming my nephew, but he's like 60 k's away. I don't know, stuff like that. That's the kind of behavior I persuade as a child. Even some of the things that also stand out to me when growing up, like going to school, first day at school, very fearful, like today, very, very fearful. And the way I kind of deal with those things is with especially anger, resentment, and grandiosity. That don't mess with me. Yeah, just don't. And that kind of, I moved schools about 3 times when growing up. Every time I went to start a new school, that's what I showed. Hiding behind, I'm scared. This is very new to me. I don't know anyone. And I kind of look, I don't know. I don't think normal people do that. They kind of get over it and carry on. I portray this angry person. So I hide who I am. I don't know. I can't really remember a lot. I don't know what, maybe it was the stuff I was taking, anything. But yeah, where I kind of can see my disease starting when I was young was especially late primary school, high school, when the sports girls came in, where I wasn't really, outgoing person, but in those 2 aspects of my life, I kind of excelled, especially the sports. I got what I wanted. I got the attention. I didn't need to be that angry person then, because I got the attention. I got affirmation. People liked me for the way I played sports, and that carried on. I carried on throughout high school. High school was also the first time I had my first drink. It ended really badly. It ended with a bottle of vodka and passing out in my underwear on a dirt road. That was kind of it. Very quick over, But I can't say after that I didn't have the need to drink. Now I know today because it wasn't my solution then. My solution was the attention I was getting from girls at school, the attention I was getting from my sports. Okay, I'm carrying on. When was it? About 2010, I got that date right. I can laugh. Yeah, I'm very bad with dates. Like I said earlier, my memory is smashed. 2010, I moved from East London. So I was staying in East London at that time. I moved from East London to Johannesburg, Kind of it was the same thing came up, that angry, resentful. Me came portraying this person, but immediately the sports started, and everything was all right. Everything was all right. That same year, I got into a motorbike accident, motorcycle accident, and all of that was gone. I ended up in a wheelchair for 4 months, 6 months. Sports was finished. My fix was gone, and it's kind of right there that I can see now that I am an alcoholic. I am an addict, because that fix was gone. Immediately, my drinking picked up. It was just, partying started. Also, I picked up my first, or my drug of choice. I picked up that same year, and it was over. It was over quick. My progression of my disease lasted 4 years. Let's say my proper thick active addiction lasted 4 years. 4 years, and it was done. Anyway, that 2010, I picked up my first drug, my drug of choice. So the drinking, the partying started continuing. I think within about 6 months, I was stealing from my parents, because that's the type of addict I am, alcoholic I am. I'm too fearful to steal from other people, so I steal from the people I care about, because there's no consequences. At that time, how do you arrest your son? Kind of how it is, that carried on, I got I got exposed for the first time that same year. That same year, I got exposed. I can't remember. Can't remember what. I think I stole something, like I do. I steal shit. And my mom confronted me and asked me to go for a drug test. So, yeah, sure, arrogant like I am, but I've been called out. Well, how do you hide that? How do you hide that? But in my mind, what I do, I run. I went for the drug test. Same time, I went to the doctor's rooms next door. I said I can't sleep. I've got medication, and I tried overdosing. Ended up in hospital, and problem gone. No, Ruan's not a drug addict. Ruan's depressed. That's when the process of my medication as well started. Medication, alcohol, drugs. And also, I don't know how many psych wards. It was in and out. Like I said, my progression my disease only lasted 4 years. I did 4 years. Not too long after that, I did another suicide attempt. Same behavior. I got caught out for stealing a safe from my parents. I tried another suicide attempt. Because that's the type of stuff I do. I can't face consequences. I can't. Me, alcoholic, I don't like consequences. I don't like confrontation. I would rather run. Try another suicide attempt. And that's kind of that. This was somewhere December 2012. 13. Got it. Yeah, 2000. Yes, yeah. Anyway, I went to, after the suicide attempt, because apparently it's law. You have to go into a psych ward. This was like 5 psych wards down the line. You have to go into a psych ward. From there, I got booked in. I got sectioned to my first treatment center. And honestly, I didn't want to be there. I actually initially thought, we're just going to go look. We're going to go look what this place is about. But yeah, I got booked in immediately. I didn't want to be there. I spent the first 2 days in my room, not complying, didn't want anything to do with it. The third day, I found a reason to stay. This girl called Elaine booked in. Now I was ready to stay. And yeah, needless to say, we kind of hit it off. Because that's where you find wives, or that's where I find wives, in rehab. Anyway, yeah, that lasted. I got discharged from that first treatment center the 9th of December, and Elaine in my life started. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, Elaine was married. And that I think, I stayed sober for 3 months. 3 months with Elaine. That ended up badly. I ended up shouting and exposing everything in her husband's house, because I was a gay friend staying there. Anyway, it ended badly with me running off, exposing everything, and ending up in Secunda. Probably if you ask me today to go to Secunda, I still don't know how to get there. But Secunda, I had an excuse to use again. I've done rehab, my heart is sore, I'm allowed to use now. 2 weeks later, back in treatment. Same treatment center. And that's how it was. That's how that year, 9th of December 2013 till 2004, the end of that year, September. That's how it went. 5 treatment centers in that year, because that's what I was. That's my progression. That's the type of alcoholic addict I am. No half measures, But what I see today is there was no willingness. There was nothing wanting to get better. It was always a reason for a girl. Girl leaves me, I've got a reason to use. Parents don't treat me like I want to be treated. There's a reason to use. Rehabs were every time just a reason to get away, let everything settle. My parents can go on vacation, because when I'm at home, my parents are fucking in jail. They stuck with the problem, because that's what I do. I cause problems for not just myself. That's not what my disease does. My disease does hell for everyone in my life. That's why probably when I went into the house on the hill, I didn't have anyone. I had my mother. My grandparents kind of disowned me. My aunts, uncles didn't want to speak to me. None of my I had my mother. Also, also kind of didn't have my mother, because the process of me booking into treatment is she got me arrested, psych ward, treatment, like I do. That's kind of how it happens. Within months, psych ward, treatment, jails. That's what I do. Anyway, see, I'm trying to not stay on that fucking active addiction side, because I hit a flop about a week ago. It's horrible. I will never outlive that experience. Fuck. The whole meeting shared on active addiction. It was horrible. Anyway, so I don't know how. Okay, I went to treatment. I was, I can't remember. I think the people there in the psych ward arranged for treatment. They gave me 2 options: a place in the South Coast, and they gave me this option. I actually chose the one in South Coast, but I ended up here. They talk about that golden thread, like God pushing you in the right direction. Anyway, but I was going into treatment, but I don't care. I'm still using. I used on the plane. I used when I landed. But at that point, I kind of think I started having enough. I was having enough. I took the last stuff I had. I threw it in the bush at the airport, and I got onto this minibus thing, whatever. Philly and Brian were there, and this other Portuguese boy. And I can't remember much about that trip. It's just I was starting to get physically ill from my drugs of choice and stuff, and I really remember this little Portuguese boy talking and fucking talking and talking. And this guy just doesn't shut up, and you barely can hear what he's saying. This thick accent. Eventually it got better, or I just got used to it. But the one memory I do have of that trip is where they stopped at this garage, Ultra City there, just before Toti, and I had to run to the bathroom because I was getting sick. I was physically ill because of everything. I ran to the bathroom. I started throwing up. That's what it is. I started throwing up, and I remember turning around, and this little Portuguese boy doesn't know me from nowhere. The little Portuguese boy's got a tissue and a sweet. Trying to just wipe your mouth. There's a sweet. Smell better. I don't know, but I don't know. That was like my first experience with. I didn't know it at that time, but I was like, what is he doing? He's trying to help me. He doesn't know me. It's my first experience with like unconditional love. Like, what this was. Apparently, he was just like me. I thought he was sicker because he's been in there for quite some time. But he was trying to help me, and he didn't know me from nowhere. It was our first experience with unconditional love, and there was that wow, look at this. Anyway, I don't know how long I was in treatment. My first sober day, because I had to detox from medication. My first sober day was September, the 28th of September 2014, and that's kind of where life began. My treatment, I don't know. I can't say. I don't know, like magic stuff happened. I stayed in treatment for that first stint for 8 months. I thought that other was sick. But after my 8 months, he was still there. He was still there. Anyway, yeah, I can't recall. I remember like going through stuff. It was difficult. The life story of fucking concern groups. It was naturally I'm an attention-seeking person. Like I shared about the sports and stuff. I want that attention from everyone, and I got hammered. I got hammered in concern groups for that, especially also attention-seeking from women. It's not great. You don't want to go to treatment with a woman problem. Yeah, and it does get worse, by the way. Anyway, yeah, so that kind of was quite easy, but where like I think recovery really started for me is where I was about 8 months sober, where I started going out. I was living in a treatment center. I started going out, helping with the shopping and all that type of stuff. And I remember going to the mall and walking past this coffee shop, and there was this girl there, and it was like, wow. Wow. Anyway, I went to go pick up the halfway house guys because I do service. We need to go for lunch at that coffee shop. Anyway, it somehow turned out she came to me and gave me her number, and right there, that attention, I can hold on to that shit. I told the halfway house I was going to throw the number away. I was like, throw it out the window, but I already put it on my phone. So I hold on to that. The dishonesty started, and it carried on. Eventually, I left the house. I went to the halfway house. I left the house with that dishonesty with this girl on the phone. I lasted a month in the halfway house, and I was finished. No drugs, no alcohol. The dishonesty took me. I was a mess. Eventually, my sponsor at the time, he called me up to the house to come see him. Because obviously, you see, my behavior doesn't stay in here. My disease doesn't stay in here. You can see it. Anyway, I go up to the house. I'm a mess. I'm crying, whatever. And I own it. I own everything. Everything we've been doing. Yeah. Anyway, and he gives me two options. He gave me an option. Leave treatment, carry on. You can go marry this girl you've been lying about, or come back to treatment. And I don't know, the way I was feeling worse than I felt when I came into treatment the first time. Without drugs, without alcohol, just behavior. I felt worse than I felt when I first came to treatment. And I went back to treatment. I can't carry on like this. I will die. And I went back to treatment. Sober, 8-9 months, I'm back into treatment. Anyway, and yeah, it was bad. It was bad because I couldn't own my behavior. I couldn't take responsibility of my behavior. Eventually, still stuck in all that stuff, I started blaming. I'm gonna say. I wrote in my step 11, my treatment is costing more than my active addiction. Breakfast, I was in the office, and I got given my reality. Josh, Brian gave it to me, like hardcore. But now also one thing that spoke of consequences, I don't like consequences. Throughout this dishonesty stint of mine, everything went. My car's motor blew. I was studying at the time, my studies went. I had a job at the time, my job, I lost it. I had to leave my job, I had to go back to treatment. Now after that, where I got given my reality in that morning, and it clicked for me that, listen, this is all my fault. It's quite strange how that works, When that light bulb moment went off, I got my car back from the mechanic. I called my boss. I got my job back. The studies were because I missed the whole course. But it is what it is. I probably wasn't meant to be there because I'm quite happy where I am right now. Just because of that, like taking that responsibility, these things came back immediately. It's quite strange. Anyway, I stayed in treatment because I left the treatment eventually and stayed in the halfway house for 2 months. I left treatment. I was there for 16 months. 16 months. I shared my first year of recovery. I was still at the treatment center. Yeah. I came to treatment. It was a lot like something I heard earlier, like people were very young coming to treatment. I came to treatment I was 22 years old. 22 years old. People my age are still partying out there. People my age are still running amok, going on vacations, going overseas. I couldn't do that. I stayed in the room with my parents. I hid. I stole. My life was not going anywhere because I'm an addict. Anyway, I was in treatment. I was 22 years old. Anyway, I left treatment, and kind of I look back at those times today, and I'm like, I kind of miss it. Life was simple, Just go to meetings, go to work, fellowship. It was quite simple, because I've kind of, throughout my recovery, after my first year, I've kind of seen my recovery as a scale, Always try to keep everything balanced. Work, God, fellowship, meetings. Keep all that stuff balanced, Do I go to enough meetings? Do I fellowship enough? Is my connection with God strong enough? And I've always tried to keep that balance, But as my recovery has grown, as I've grown, those scales have gotten fuller. I'm in a relationship today, a healthy, honest relationship today. I go to work. Since I've come into recovery, I've never been late for work. Never. I'm always, since I started a new job, I'm the first one at the job, at work. I have to sit there for a while, but it's all right because I can go through my day. But yeah, I've never been late for work, Also, one big thing I wanted to share, is about 4 months ago, also another nice experience, I got fired from my first job. I was working in a place in Park Rainy. Financially I was struggling, and I started looking for new work. And I got offered this job, like a fucking splendorous job. Like 3 times the salary, work van, the whole shebang, It was great. 3 months later, I got fired. It was like a good knock for my arrogance. But it was quite amazing how that happened. It was the Saturday morning. It was like a thing I built fell over. Yeah. Anyway, I got fired, but the first thing I did was call my sponsor. I don't know, it's quite strange if I think about it today, like, what would happen if, like, shit like that goes down? I think I would cry. I did cry, but the first thing I did do is I called my sponsor and kind of just processed that stuff with him. 15 minutes later, my girlfriend's dad called me. I can't remember what he called me, but right there, I got fired from my job. Right there, he called me, and he offered me a job. That was the Saturday, I'm starting Monday. One job flopped, called my sponsor, door closed, next door opens, I called my sponsor first, asking if this was okay, and it was all right, and the kind of, I look at it sounds like fucking chaos, but it's not the chaos, it's about the way I dealt with it, the way I worked through it. It's not something I would have done a year ago, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I would have fucking run, I would have disappeared for 2 weeks, I would have got arrested, Today, I don't know, it's just different. The way I deal with problems today is much different, The way I deal with life is much different. Because no matter what I do, no matter how long I'm in recovery, life is happening, Life is coming. So yeah, it's really something amazing, And kind of there's where it goes blank. What now? Yeah. No, but so then I just want to share on now, now what's kind of how life is now, So I kind of shared now what I am without a program. Today, I have people don't share on material things, but I didn't come to meetings. I didn't start like getting attracted to this program for how spiritual people were. I got attracted to the lives people live today, Because there, I don't have a life today, It's amazing. I have a house. I live in a house. I have an amazing romantic relationship. Why is it coming out funny? Amazing romantic relationship, My relationship, I'm able to keep friendships. You know what I'm saying? That's a big one because I struggle to text. I don't like WhatsApp. I've got old school. I don't like WhatsApp. I'd rather call you. But I have friendships with friends today, and I maintain those friendships, fellowshipping, It's a question. I was at a share yesterday, and a question got asked to this guy, like, how do you keep busy? How do you keep busy? I'm like, how do I not keep busy? I don't have time today. I struggle to find time for myself. Life is so full. My life is so full today. It's either there's meetings. I've got fellowshipping. There's always something happening. It's a small ass town, but there's a lot going on here. Really, really, really. I have like moments in the day, about maybe 3 hours, we have to Google things to do with friends at home. Yesterday, but other than that, like it's something that got told to me when I was at the treatment center. I was like, fuck, I just want to go do something for myself. I just want to go do stuff. Life's not about you anymore. That's not my choice today, because there's always things to do with people. I'm never alone today. I'm always with. Before this meeting, I was with fucking panicking. There was nothing left to clean at home. And one phone call, I'm going to friends. Spent 2 hours before the meeting with friends. Yesterday, I spent the day with friends. Always doing something. And that's what recovery has given me. A full, peaceful note, a full, happy life. A full, happy life. That's kind of what recovery has given me. So yeah, that in its own, it's quite amazing. Yeah, thanks for letting me share.